Been diving into the science behind forgiveness and resentment, how holding on to resentment can affect our health, and how forgiveness in turn can be healing. Today, I want to take a moment to share something more personal, a couple of powerful experiences I've had with forgiveness that shaped the way I approach life. Let's rewind about uh, 33 years ago when I was in my first year of sobriety, living in Orlando, Florida. Every month, I'd visit my parents. My mom, well, to put it bluntly, used to annoy me. Before every visit, I'd hop into my trusty Ford Escort, and the whole drive over, which was about an hour, I'd mentally rehearse exactly what my mom was going to do, how she'd say it, and what she would do, how she would interact with my dad. I could predict the snarky remarks, the stories she'd tell, and even um, the dynamic between the two of them. Like clockwork, she'd deliver, and I would check off those moments in my head like a mental scorecard. By the time I left and drove back to Orlando, I'd relived the day feeling irritated and frustrated, just as I expected. But one day in my first year of sobriety, something clicked. Sitting in my car on the way home, I realized something. It wasn't my mom who was making me miserable during these visits. It was me. It was my thoughts on that hour. The hour drive over there, brewing up the negativity. It was my own brain that coded the cheeseburgers at lunch in irritation. And it was my own attitude, not my mom's, that was eating me up on the drive home. In that moment, I realized that I had been giving up my power. I was forfeiting my own peace of mind, and it was on me to take it back. So, fast forward about 23 years, and I had just accepted a job as program manager for an intensive outpatient substance use disorder program, which meant jumping straight into running groups. No problem. I had run a similar program before. The first day on the job, the topic I had to present was forgiveness, a topic I had delivered dozens of times. But as I stood there flipping through the slides, something washed over me. It hit me. I had a long list of people that I hadn't forgiven. And the weight of that list was holding me back. There were two huge unresolved areas of resentment in my life at the time. The first was a long, drawn out, bitter divorce and custody battle. Legally, actually, it had been over for a while, but in my heart and mind, it was still fresh. The second was a young man who had T boned me the year before in a car accident. That accident left me with serious injuries, hospital stays, um, and ongoing pain. As I stood in front of that group talking about forgiveness and resentment, I realized how much space these events were taking up in my brain. My lack of forgiveness was blocking me from the freedom I needed and deserved. It was affecting my sleep, my mood, my availability for the people I cared about, and the roles I was employed in. It was draining my energy. Just like with my mom years ago, it wasn't them, it was me. That night after work, I created a simple but profound ritual to forgive and to let go. It didn't erase everything. I wasn't instantly free of the resentments, but now I was in control of how much energy I gave those events in my head. With that shift, I was able to reclaim my sleep, my mood, and my mental space. Forgiveness is a process, sometimes it's not about absolving someone, but taking back control over your own peace. Resentment takes up valuable real estate in our hearts and minds. And when we forgive, we clear space for healing. Thanks for listening to my personal story. If you've been holding on to something, maybe today is the day to take the first step towards forgiveness, towards taking back your power.